Hi YouTube world, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I appreciate you clicking. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm feeling stressed, when I am feeling anxious or a little out of control, something that helps ground me is to organize, clean up a little. And I have been under a lot of stress because of family health issues, and I feel a little out of control in that regard. And so now that I'm back home in New York for a couple of days, I've just found myself, since coming back to all my beauty items, makeup, skincare, hair care, all that stuff, there are things that I have wanted to come home to and like gravitate towards and play with, and other things that I'm like, why do I have that? And I had a lot of that feeling last night. So I did a little mini declutter. So if you want maybe a miscellaneous grouping of why I'm getting rid of something, of what's worked, what isn't, this is gonna be kind of a chatty decluttering video, which I actually appreciate because I don't like to just personally see people just toss things out and not really give me an explanation as to why. I want to hear that reason. So I hope you're that kind of person too. So let's get started. Let's kick off with eyeshadow palettes. I have a lot of eyeshadow palettes. The first one from ColourPop is this Lust for Dusk palette. It's a very, very pretty color story, and I thought I would really enjoy it, but I have to say the quality of these shadows was not up to snuff with a lot of ColourPop's other shadow formulas. Don't know what it is. It also, you think there's a lot of depth here. You think like this shadow and this shadow would provide some depth, but they're actually quite light, these shadows. So if you're trying to build something up, you're gonna have to tap into another palette. And the shimmers are sort of like a little ho-hum and not as creamy as some of the other shadows I have of theirs. Kind of a little chunky and odd formulation. Another one from ColourPop that caught my eye immediately from the packaging is this Cabana Club palette. So beautiful, very kind of Hawaiian, tropical outside, and inside, again, love the variety here, love these dark shades. This is actually quite a beautiful palette, and I'm hoping that someone out there will enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with the quality here. It is gorgeous. I just have this in a lot of other palettes of theirs. It doesn't offer me any uniqueness in terms of shades. The next up, I purchased this on sale and at ColourPop. They were having a big sale, and I got finally the Blue Moon palette, which I had wanted for such a long time. And although it is quite beautiful and there's a lot of really pretty blue shades here, I'm not really needing for this. I just don't wear blue enough to be like, this is my jam. So I'm going to declutter this one. This one here is a little hard for me to part with. This is probably my favorite packaging of any ColourPop palette ever. This is the Limoncello palette. It has that beautiful design as though it's the pottery from Capri, Italy area, which is where limoncello is made. And it just, it's so beautiful. And the palette inside has a nice big mirror. It even has a detail on the mirror of the lemon. And then here you have these beautiful shades. Now this is a larger pan palette, and unfortunately it just doesn't have, again, these shades are not as deep as I want them to be to help me really create a nice multi-dimensional look. These golds are really pretty in variation, but I have them in other palettes that would give me a little bit more depth. And although I like this pop of blue, I haven't been really inspired by it, and I have used it a couple of times. So this one is a no go for me too. I also picked up the Cor de Rosa palette from Sigma. This I had looked at for such a long time. This is the palette here. Such a beautiful color story. Everyone spoke so highly of it, and I love that it came with a really good brush by Sigma. But I gotta say, I was really disappointed at the quality of the shadows. They are nowhere near where I need my shadows to be. Maybe I'm a bit of a shadow snob by this point, simply because, again, I have quite a collection of Sydney Grace and Cleona shadows, and I don't know. I need to stop being suckered by beautiful packaging and color story. That's really what it comes down to. Another one that I got suckered by the packaging is this one by CZ Cosmetics. So CZ is this really cute brand from China, and this is the packaging here. This is one of the Alice in Wonderland. So you have Alice here, you have the flamingo here, you have all these. And although, again, you're gonna see a trend, although I love the packaging. I mean, the packaging is so beautiful. I love the story here. There just isn't enough depth to it to create fantastic eye looks. They're all just a little wishy-washy, and for that reason, I can't just keep this. Another palette I was disappointed in, but it was one of those that had been on my wish list forever, is the Man Eater palette by Tarte. And that's this one here. Really pretty, nothing wrong with it. I love that Tarte shadow smell, but I just wasn't really crazy impressed with it. I thought it would make a nice travel palette, but honestly, I'm much more enjoying this LA Girl palette, which sort of reminds me of the Man Eater palette, and I should have recognized that for myself. So I just find this one to be much more interesting. Has the shimmers on this are crazy good. I just feel like this, I'm probably past this point. I should have gotten this when it was really popular. And the last one is this Stila Nobility palette. This one's really pretty too. Again, not enough depth for me. I much prefer the camo palette that is the other one from them. It's Stellar. I don't have it with me right now. It's actually down in Miami in my parents' home because I love it that much. This one just didn't really do it for me. Though, if you like Charlotte Tilbury sort of pillow talk or anything, you may really like this one. The shadow quality is really beautiful. It's really silky, and the shimmers are really nice, but it's really the color story here that doesn't do it for me, because it just doesn't have enough deepness to it. So at least I'm consistent with my inconsistencies. Last one is this Ofra New Solstice palette. I've sort of decluttered some of these eyeshadows before. I thought this would make a really good travel palette. It has these pretty blushers. It has Rodeo Drive in the center, and I'm gonna get, I know I have these somewhere, these shadows. I will get them and put them in, but this is just not for me. I just have a few more products that I wanted to talk about. This one from ColourPop, this is from their Soul Body line, a dry shimmering oil. This one here, I don't know what I was thinking, but this is not a product for me. This is an oil which smells so good. It smells like coconut, very tropical, yummy, very hydrating, but it has a ton of pink glitter in it. I thought that the product was gonna be more like a pearly pink shimmer, but no, it is glitter, like glitter. And I can't with that. So not a product for me, but that's, again, my own stupidity. What was I expecting? Some blushes. I went through my blush collection, and although I didn't go through all of it, I went through mostly the cooler toned blushes because I had a lot of them and I wanted to see which I really needed in my life. This one here is heartbreaking to part with because it has been my favorite blush for a long time. I have noticed though a decrease in performance, and I'll have to think about repurchasing it. Now this one's from Thrive Cosmetics. It is the Cosmo Power Multi-Dimensional Strobing Blush in Rosy. It's this one here, and I don't know if you can tell, it crumbles super easily, but look how beautiful that is. And it's just this beautiful, glowy, cool tone blush. It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It's just, I've had it for years already, and it's just not performing the way it should. I recently got this Lady Slipper Aura powder from Sigma Beauty. This one here. This is really beautiful. It has a very soft, silky texture. It's this lavender pink. I actually think my sister's gonna love this one, so I'm gonna bring it to her. It doesn't look quite right on my skin, and the one that I prefer is this one here from Clinique. This is the Pansy Pop from Clinique. And this one just, for whatever reason, suits me better and is quite similar in tone if I'm going for that look. So for that reason, I am decluttering that one. I also have this one from NARS, which is called Thrill. Again, pop color, makes me look a little sickly. So I'm gonna bring it to my sister. My sister is much more pink tone than I am. She's very cool tone, pink tone, and I think those type of blushes will suit her best. I am also decluttering this one from Lottie London. This is a beautiful blush. This one's exposed. It's a gorgeous blush, gorgeous blush. I just, in comparing blushes in my, and it has a nice sheen to it, and it blends really well, and it lasts a long time. There's nothing wrong with it. I just happen to have a couple of blushes that I prefer, which are in exactly the same tone. The last blush, powder blush that I have is also from ZC Cosmetics. This is the powder blush in number 3. So it's this one here, very pretty packaging, but it just doesn't have enough oomph for me. So it's this like terracotta nude color. It's a very pretty shade, very nudie, but it doesn't build as strongly as I need it to. And I have a lot of blushers that are like within that range. Some eyebrow products that I'm decluttering. You know, I don't think I love Give Me Brow by Benefit. This is Give Me Brow in number 5. I don't know that it provides too much for me. It's just not my favorite brow product. And I have it in number 3 too. So those two are going. These two products too, this is the Brow Styler from Benefit in the shade 4.5. And it has two sides to it. It has a pencil, but you see it's like it's very dried out, and it's huge. It's just not, it's underperformed since I've had it. And then it has this like powdery side, which I don't love, and over applies really quickly in the eyebrows. I don't like this product. So I mean, Benefit makes my one of my, I think my favorite actually, eyebrow pencil, which is precisely my brow pencil, and some other good products, but those are just, they underperform for me. I am also decluttering this IT Cosmetics Brow Power in Universal Taupe. This is just too, even though I like the color, let me see if I could swatch the color. I have to, the color is nice. It's sort of a neutrally brown. It looks more red on camera, but it's actually more neutral. But it just, in order to put it in your eyebrows, you have to really rub hard. It's not creamy enough, and it's never been creamy enough. It's a very stiff formula, and I feel like it actually grabs and yanks some of my hairs out. So for that reason, I'm letting it go. And I'm also letting go of this, my last product. It is the Flower Gel Crush Lip and Cheek in the shade Strawberry Crush. It's this one here. This is very nice. It is a very pretty blush color. It stays a little tacky on your cheeks. It has a very strong fake strawberry scent, which I don't like. I don't need a product to stay this tacky on my skin. I need it to mesh with my skin. I need it to become one with my skin and dry down. And for that reason, I just didn't care for it. It's really not a product for me. So that is it for my declutter. I feel like this was a very logical declutter for me. It makes me feel a little bit better about what I have. Oh, I forgot this little Lorac Pro palette. Again, not enough variety, not enough depth. Great shadows though, and this was a free gift with purchase. So I don't feel so terrible about that one. Now, I don't know if you noticed, there are no lip products in that declutter, and that is because I have decluttered all of these lip products. I am going to be doing a separate video about my lip product declutter, because what I did, and I really liked decluttering this way, was I did it by color category, and I feel like that is much more useful to me to think of my collection in terms of color instead of in terms of formula. So what I did was I went through my reds and corals and I decluttered quite a lot. I'd say about almost half of the amount of reds and corals that I had. I hope you stay tuned for that, because that's going to give you, I think, a lot of insight into me, my preferences, and I'm kind of a lip freak. I love really great, beautiful lip formulas, and so it is a very hard thing for me to declutter, but I don't want it to go to waste, and I want to be able to open my drawer and know that every product there I don't have to fuss with, I really love, and I will use. So if that interests you, stay tuned. So I hope you enjoyed that video. If you have any tips, tricks on how to manage this crazy thing, if you're doing a low buy, no buy, I'd love to really kickstart that next year. I was going to do it this year, but my life turned upside down, and unfortunately retail therapy is a real thing, and I don't want it to be, though. I do have a desire to live more intentionally and with less. So if you're on that journey, if you did that journey, if you have tips on what, who to watch, I love Hannah Louise Poston. I know she's done a lot of that, and she really articulates herself beautifully about that journey. And so I do follow her and some others, but if you know of anyone, by all means, let me know. Or share about your own journey. Is this retail therapy a thing for you? How do you monitor that? How do you get that under control? How do you kind of take a pause and really suss out, do you need this, or are you just having feelings? Because we all have feelings. All right, I hope all is well, and if you like this video, consider subscribing. Take care and be well. Bye.